The early 19th century saw a confident British East India Company tightening its grip on the Indian subcontinent. With each passing year, their influence grew and their ambitions expanded. They had already established control over vast territories, and their eyes were set on further conquests. The Himalayas, however, stood as a formidable barrier. These majestic mountains, with their snow-capped peaks and treacherous terrains, were not just a geographical challenge but also a symbol of resistance. Nestled within these towering peaks was the Kingdom of Nepal. A land of rugged beauty and resilient people, Nepal was more than just a strategic location. It was a proud nation with a rich history and culture. A small but fierce warrior kingdom, Nepal was ruled by the ambitious Gorkha dynasty. The Gorkhas were not just rulers, they were warriors, known for their indomitable spirit and martial skills. The Gorkhas, under their king Prithvi Narayan Shah, had unified Nepal in the late 18th century. This unification was not just a political achievement but a testament to their strength and determination. They were known for their military prowess and unwavering courage. Their reputation as formidable fighters was well earned, and their legacy was one of bravery and honor. The seeds of conflict were sown when the expanding Gorkha kingdom began to rub up against the equally ambitious East India Company. Both powers were driven by a desire for dominance, and their paths were inevitably set on a collision course. Border disputes and political misunderstandings escalated tensions. Diplomatic efforts were made, but they were often marred by mistrust and miscommunication. The lines on the map became lines in the sand, and neither side was willing to back down. The company, accustomed to easy victories elsewhere, viewed the Gorkhas as a minor obstacle. They believed that their superior numbers and advanced weaponry would quickly subdue the Gorkha resistance. They underestimated the Gorkha spirit. The Gorkhas were not just fighting for territory, they were defending their homeland, their way of life, and their honor. This miscalculation would prove costly. The Gorkhas, with their intimate knowledge of the terrain and their fierce determination, were not easily defeated. In 1814, the simmering tensions finally boiled over. The diplomatic efforts had failed, and the stage was set for war. The East India Company, driven by its desire for expansion and control, declared war on Nepal. This was not just a military campaign, it was a clash of empires, each seeking to assert its dominance. This marked the beginning of the Anglo-Gorkha War, a war that would test the mettle of both sides and leave an indelible mark on history. A war that would etch the name of NALAPAANI in the annals of history. The fort of NALAPAANI, with its strategic importance and symbolic value, became the focal point of this epic struggle. The stage was set for a clash of titans. The rugged landscape of NALAPAANI, with its steep hills and dense forests, would witness a battle of epic proportions. On one side stood the mighty British East India Company, armed with superior firepower and vast resources. Their confidence was bolstered by their previous successes, and they were determined to add Nepal to their list of conquests. On the other side stood the Gorkhas, defending their homeland with unwavering determination and a legacy of valor. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but their spirit was unbreakable. The battle for NALAPAANI was not just a fight for territory, it was a fight for honor, for freedom, and for the very soul of Nepal. The British East India Company, under the guise of trade, had been steadily expanding its influence across India. What began as a commercial enterprise soon morphed into a powerful political and military force, with the company exerting control over vast territories and local rulers. The allure of wealth and resources drove their relentless pursuit of dominance. Its ambitions, however, were far from peaceful. The company was not content with mere trade. It sought to establish a monopoly over the region, using military might to achieve its goals. The expansion was marked by aggressive military campaigns and strategic alliances, often leading to violent confrontations. With a formidable army and an insatiable appetite for territory, the company posed a significant threat to its neighbors. The British forces were well equipped and highly trained, making them a formidable adversary. Their military strategies were meticulously planned, aiming to subdue any resistance swiftly and efficiently. Nepal, with its strategically important location in the Himalayas, became a prime target. The rugged terrain and natural fortifications made it a valuable asset for controlling the region. The British saw Nepal as a gateway to further expansion into the northern territories, and they were determined to bring it under their control. The company's expansionist policies brought it into direct conflict with the Gorkhas. The Gorkhas, known for their fierce independence and martial prowess, were not willing to cede their land without a fight. The border conflicts escalated, with both sides preparing for a confrontation that seemed inevitable. Border disputes arose, fueled by misunderstandings and a clash of interests. The British, driven by their desire for control, often disregarded the traditional boundaries and claims of the local population. This led to heightened tensions and frequent skirmishes along the disputed borders. The Gorkhas, known for their unwavering defense of their territory, refused to back down. Their reputation as formidable warriors was well earned, and they were prepared to defend their homeland at any cost. The Gorkhas' resolve was fueled by a deep sense of pride and a commitment to preserving their way of life. They viewed the company's encroachment as a direct threat to their sovereignty and their way of life. The Gorkhas were not just fighting for land, they were fighting for their identity, their culture, and their future. The entire community rallied together, with villagers and soldiers alike preparing to resist the invaders. The company, accustomed to easy victories against other Indian kingdoms, underestimated the Gorkhas. The British commanders, confident in their superior numbers and firepower, dismissed the Gorkhas as a minor obstacle. This overconfidence would soon prove to be a critical mistake. They saw them as a minor obstacle, a nuisance to be dealt with swiftly. The British believed that their advanced weaponry and disciplined troops would easily overpower the Gorkhas. However, they failed to account for the Gorkhas' tenacity and intimate knowledge of the terrain. This arrogance would prove to be their undoing. The Gorkhas, utilizing guerrilla tactics and their superior knowledge of the mountainous terrain, launched a fierce resistance. The British forces, unprepared for such determined opposition, found themselves struggling to maintain their positions. The Gorkhas, though smaller in number and outmatched in firepower, were prepared to fight tooth and nail for their homeland. Their bravery and strategic acumen turned the tide of battle, inflicting significant losses on the British forces. The Gorkhas' resilience and fighting spirit became legendary. They were determined to teach the company a lesson it wouldn't forget. The Gorkhas' victory was not just a military triumph. It was a powerful statement of their unyielding spirit and determination to protect their sovereignty. The British East India Company learned a harsh lesson about the limits of their power and the strength of those who defend their homeland. High in the hills overlooking a narrow passage stood a formidable structure that has witnessed countless tales of valor and sacrifice. This was the fort of NALAPAANI, a sentinel of stone and mortar that stood as a guardian of the Gorkha kingdom. This strategically vital fort guarded one of the main routes into the heart of the Gorkha kingdom, a route that was crucial for both defense and trade. Recognizing its importance, the Gorkhas had fortified NALAPAANI, turning it into a symbol of their resistance and a bastion of their indomitable spirit. The command of NALAPAANI was entrusted to Colonel Kaji Bhakti Thapa, man whose name was synonymous with bravery and tactical genius. A seasoned warrior known for his strategic brilliance and unwavering loyalty to the Gorkha crown, Thapa was the perfect choice to lead the defense. Under his leadership, a force of around 600 Gorkha soldiers, each one ready to lay down their life for their homeland, along with a contingent of women and children who provided support and morale, prepared for the inevitable British assault. They knew they were facing an enemy far superior in numbers and firepower, an enemy that had conquered vast territories with its might. The British forces, with their advanced weaponry and disciplined ranks, were a formidable foe, yet the Gorkhas were undeterred. The Gorkhas, known for their fierce fighting spirit and resilience, were ready to face the challenge head-on. The steep terrain and the fort's sturdy defenses gave them a strategic advantage, one they intended to exploit to the fullest. They were determined to make the British pay dearly for every inch of ground, to turn every stone and wall into a symbol of their defiance. The Gorkhas were prepared to defend their homeland to the last breath, to fight with a tenacity that would be remembered for generations. Their courage and determination would be put to the ultimate test as the British prepared to unleash their full might upon NALAPAANI, a clash of titans that would echo through history. The fate of the Gorkha kingdom hung in the balance, with every soldier, every weapon, and every strategy playing a crucial role in the impending battle. The stage was set for a battle that would become a legend, a testament to the bravery and resilience of the Gorkhas, and a chapter in history that would be told and retold for centuries to come. Section 4. The siege begins, a test of Gorkha mettle. The British, led by General Gillespie, arrived at NALAPAANI in late October 1814. Confident of a swift victory, Gillespie ordered an immediate attack. He had not anticipated the ferocity of the Gorkha defense. The Gorkhas, firing from their fortified positions, repelled the initial British assaults with heavy casualties. Gillespie, enraged by the unexpected resistance, decided to lay siege to the fort. He believed that cutting off supplies and bombarding the fort would force a quick surrender. What he hadn't accounted for was the Gorkha tenacity. The defenders of NALAPAANI, led by Bhakti Thapa, were prepared for a long and arduous siege. Days turned into weeks, and the siege dragged on. The British bombarded the fort relentlessly, their cannons echoing through the hills. Yet the Gorkhas held firm. They fought with incredible bravery, repelling every British attempt to storm the fort. Their kukuris, the fearsome curved knives of the Gorkhas, became a symbol of their resistance, claiming the lives of many British soldiers. Section 5. Hunger and Valor. The Gorkha spirit endures. The siege of NALAPAANI was not just a test of military strength, it was a test of human endurance. As the siege dragged on, the Gorkhas inside the fort faced dwindling supplies. Food and water became scarce, and hunger gnawed at their bellies, yet their spirits remained unbroken. The Gorkhas, including the women and children, refused to yield. They shared what little food they had and even resorted to eating grass and leaves to survive. Their courage in the face of adversity was truly remarkable. The women played a crucial role in keeping the Gorkha spirit alive. They not only tended to the wounded, but also took up arms alongside the men when needed. Their unwavering support and courage proved that the Gorkha spirit extended beyond the battlefield. It was deeply ingrained in their way of life.